Your local Ashley HomeStore is spreading good news by bringing you Feel Good Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody. Nate Eaton here with EastIdahoNews.com. We're outside Ship Pro in Ammon, and I want to tell you about an email I got just a few weeks ago. It said, I wanted to let you know about an amazing, honest individual that saved my mom from financial disaster. She was on the verge of being scammed by a phone solicitor who kept her hostage on the phone for 6 hours, then tried to extort $8,000 in cash to be sent to him next day air because she thought she had won a prize. It then turned out into a situation where she owed him the money and needed to pay it back. In her panic, she went to the bank, withdrew $8,000, and then came here to Ship Pro. She needed to send it quickly, and Dane, the owner, very kindly helped her and asked her a few questions after he told her that something was visibly wrong. He gently calmed her down, told her she was being scammed, and told her that what she was being asked to do was not real. The person who had her on the phone was actively listening to the conversation the entire time. He quickly hung up after hearing Dane talk to my mother. The same individual then called back, and Dane answered the phone, told him that he was being reported to the FedEx fraud program and that his account should be flagged. Had it not been for Dane's integrity, honesty, and just being a good person, my mother would have been financially devastated. I don't know how this works or how to go about it, but I feel that people need to be reminded of scammers. Don't send cash in the mail. And second, I want to remind people that there are amazing people in our community like Dane Croft, the owner of Ship Pro. Well, we agree, and we want to thank Dane for what he did for this family, and I'm sure he's done it several other times because he does own a shipping company. We think he's here right now. Ashley Home Furniture got us some gift cards to give to him to Amazon so that he can legitimately buy packages through the mail. Let's go see him. How you doing?
No.
Are you Dane?
I'm Dane, yeah.
Dane! I'm Nate.
I know.
You got a minute?
Yeah.
You don't know why I'm here, though, right?
I don't know why you're here.
Well, I'll tell you why we're here. We got an email from a woman who said that you saved her mother $8,000.
Oh, geez.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So tell me in your own words what happened.
What had happened is she came in and she, you could tell she was frazzled. You know, you could tell that she was just uncomfortable and scared. Mm-hmm. But she wanted to overnight this package that she had packaged herself. And she had requested an overnight with an early morning delivery and a signature. And so I have it's a very expensive service to do that. It's incredibly expensive. Mm-hmm. So I have a deal with my employees. If you ever sell one of these, I'll buy you dinner because it'll cover it for sure. So that's what she requested, and that was my biggest red flag right there. Because really the only time that we use that service is when we're sending medical equipment to hospitals for surgeries, things like that. So
was she on the phone at the time too?
So her phone was on. I didn't know that her phone was on, but whoever had her freaked out. This individual, he was listening to everything. So I actually had her step aside for a second. I cleared out the store, and then I said, I'm going to ask you a few questions. And I just kind of started grilling her. I said, do you know this person? Are they family? Are they whatever? And just nothing added up, And so then I asked her what she was sending, and it was a book. And I was like, this isn't a book. I've sent lots of books. I know what, I know what that would be. And so I just told her, I said, look, my guess is that they've probably called you and they've told you that you've done something wrong. And they've got you really, really freaked out. They told you they're going to come after you, or they're going to come after somebody else, or you're going to go to jail or something. And it's all fake. None of it's real. And none of us ever, and I could just kind of see it wash over her at that point. And she was the sweetest lady too.
From what I understand, you actually picked up the phone at one point and told the guy.
I did. So I didn't know at the time, but she when we were done and I told her and I explained everything, he heard it all. And so she was like, oh, look, he hung up. And I was like, oh, was he on the phone? And she told me that he was. And so I told her, I said, he'll call you back. As soon as you leave here, he will call you back and he'll try to get you to go someplace else. And before she hit the door, he called back.
Wow.
And so I said, do you want me to answer it? I said, yeah. So I picked it up and I told him, I said, look, I will contact FedEx fraud. Your address will be flagged in the system. Shame on you. Pick a new lifestyle.
And you saved her $8,000.
I didn't know how much money. I had no idea how much was in there.
Yeah.
I didn't until her daughter called me, a few days later. And and told me, but I had no idea how much was in there.
And then her daughter contacted us.
I can't believe she did that. That was
said,
so crazy.
Please go in and thank them because you saved my mother. You saved her. And we thought, well, great. We'll go give you some real gift cards.
Geez.
These aren't fake. These are real. You've probably heard of Amazon, so you can use those and treat your employees or whatever you want. But also, we want to get the word out to seniors that might be watching or others. I mean, what you deal with this. What would you say?
Well, I'll tell you. The biggest thing for me is she mentioned that her mom was on the phone for 5 hours with this guy before he got her to go to the bank and before he got her to come here. That's kidnap. I mean, if you really look at it, that's kidnap. And so if somebody's calling you and they've got you pretty freaked out, they've got you convinced that you owe them money, if they've spun some story, just verify. Call around. You know, the IRS isn't going to come take your house. The IRS, number one, will never call you. That's the other big one that we see is the IRS saying, hey, you got due back taxes, you know, da-da-da. But then they actually try to get you to go get gift cards to pay your taxes. That'll never happen with the IRS. So if you ever feel uncomfortable at all, feel free to hang up and just take a minute to reset. You know, take a minute to call somebody, take a minute to just, you know, you can always call us and say, hey, you know, is this real? But if they're ever asking you to FedEx overnight it with a signature and an early morning delivery, that's one of my biggest red flags right there.
You could have easily made a big sale though, it was moved on.
I think it was about $130 to ship that.
Wow.
To ship that there. I mean, it's a very expensive service, but if you think about it, FedEx is going to take it from Idaho Falls at 5 p.m. and deliver by 8:30 the next morning. It takes a lot of manpower to do that, so that's why it's so expensive. And honestly, the only one I've ever sold, I've done 2 since I've been here, and it was both for medical equipment.
Wow.
And so,
well,
this is so kind.
Thank you, and their family says thanks, and we appreciate what you do here.
Yes.
Your local Ashley HomeStore is spreading good news by bringing you Feel Good Friday.